It's Conversations with Q, QDZ.com. I have a young lady. She's sexy.
Thanks.
She's nice. I feel like this nice vibe about you.
Good. I'm glad. I am nice.
We have BK Bridget Kelly in the studio. How are you doing?
I am here, and I'm so much better now.
Can I tell you my first Bridget Kelly story?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. I used to live in LA, right?
Okay.
And
oh man,
my homegirl. No, this is an amazing story.
Okay.
So my homegirl was coming back to the East Coast. I think she had to fly into New York, and she's on the plane sitting next to you.
Oh.
And she's like, she had like really good conversation with you, and she was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm signed to Roc Nation, and then she called me, was like, yo, have you heard of this girl Bridget Kelly? I'm like, yeah, kinda. She's like, oh, she was so nice on the plane, yada yada yada.
Aww.
And ever since this was like 3 years ago, ever since then I was like following you. I'm like, man, that's a nice person. When I ever get to interview her, I'm going to tell her that's good.
So sweet. Thank
you know why? Because a lot of people are only nice to people that can do things for them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I felt like that was like cool, and I became like an instant fan. And she was like, she's a school teacher. She's a nice lady.
Yeah.
And you know, she didn't look like she's into kind of music, music, but that was kind of dope. She was like, man, you know, you talked to her, you were great person, just really humble. She's like, man, you got to check out for her. So she became an instant fan.
Thank you.
And I became an instant fan.
Please tell her I said thank you. I appreciate that.
I
appreciate the kind words. It's always nice to hear that, because you never know. Sometimes people assume when you're an artist that, you know, you may not necessarily be nice.
Well, some artists aren't. I'm not going to start naming names,
no,
but you are.
We won't, but thank you.
Yeah. Bridget Kelly, you're signed to Roc Nation.
Yes.
That's Jay-Z's label. Let's break your story down.
Well, I'm from New York City, which is, you know,
Sorry to hear that.
a hop, skip, and a jump. Oh, hold on. Let's not do that. We don't need to do that. We don't need to bring up the beef. There's no beef.
Okay.
But we're a hop, skip, and a jump. We're neighbors.
Kinda.
Brotherly love? Not so much?
Nah, I mean, the East Coast is very dirty. I'm from Philly too, but yeah, I don't. Yeah,
that's fine. Well, I'm here to spread love and positivity, so we're not going to do the Giants Eagles thing right now. We're just going to keep it real straight.
I mean, why would we even want to do that, Bridget Kelly?
And
we know.
because we won the last couple Super Bowls. So anyway, we'll leave it there. It's not important.
So I guess you don't want me to say about remember that time a couple weeks ago we just beat y'all really bad.
Remember that time you guys fired Andy Reid because you needed to. Anyway, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yes,
so
Bridget Kelly.
Roc Nation, Jay-Z. I'm from New York City, so I always wanted to be a part of a New York label. I really felt like it's either got to be Jay or it's got to be Puff. And I made it a point to really, kind of scout and pursue the Roc Nation situation as soon as it became solidified. My management was kind of in good with people at Def Jam, and we were working really hard at the time. I was grinding. I had 2 jobs, and I was working in every studio possible, and crazy basement closet setups, trying to record songs and go to castings and open mics and auditions. And, we lucked out. We got a couple records that were really, really strong, and we sent them over. We had somebody kind of like, pull up a Pink Panther move and sneak the records onto onto someone's, email. And we landed a couple meetings. So it sounds a lot easier than it was, but it was like literally it took a few months to really get into the same room with everybody and sing. It was like, okay, just go in the booth and just sing real quick. And I did for like 45 minutes. I was just singing this stream of a cappella music.
Were you nervous?
Oh, horrified. I had no idea what to do with myself.
Who was in the room that was going to decide your fate if you were going to, get signed to Roc Nation?
Jay Brown was the had the final say. Wow. So he was sitting there, just sitting back in the chair, arms folded. And I was just kind of sitting there like, okay, well, can we maybe turn the lights down so nobody sees me in here sweating and shaking and feeling like my voice is gonna crack? But it was a beautiful experience. It was sort of the beginning of everything for me was that moment.
Wow. And you went to LaGuardia High School?
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from LaGuardia in 2003.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm lying. I'm from Philly. I just read it somewhere.
I thought you maybe had a LaGuardia High School here too. I was gonna say that's so cute.
Anything that sounds like New York, I hate.
Why is that?
I'm from Philly. We hate everything.
Okay.
We hate New York.
Okay.
What else do we hate? We hate the Giants. We hate Carmelo Anthony. We hate.
Okay.
But we love Jay-Z. We love Jay-Z.
Good.
So that's
good. He's our number one. So he's like the number one rep spokesperson for all things New York related. So we're happy that you like him. Then.
But we hate Tata.
Oh, all right.
We'll talk about that later. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so all right. So I was doing my BK research, and okay, you had this song, but then Frank Ocean took the song. Well, he wrote the song and he gave it to you, and then was he an Indian giver? And I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody by
politically
saying
incorrect. You're from Philly. You're allowed. I think it was really a situation where he's an artist. He's an artist and a writer, and I think he was really sentimental and attached to the song. But yes, he wrote it for me. It was during my like album recording time and writing, my writing sessions. He came in and wrote the record for me, and so he just decided he wanted to keep it for himself. And before even having the opportunity to talk about it, have a conversation, he just released his version. So
record company stuff.
No, just Frank Ocean just put it out himself. Just felt like he was just going to leak his demo. So
okay.
That's what he did.
I don't know. We're walking down LaGuardia Airport Row. You see Frank Ocean. What would the conversation be with Frank?
I don't know. I would say hello. I haven't spoken to him. I haven't seen him since the whole thing went down. And I felt bad about it because I was like, well, dag, people are probably thinking that, I'm pissed off and a crybaby and that Frank's a jerk. And, no one really knows what happened. There's no real, I don't even know what happened.
Got you.
I just know the song went from being mine to then all of a sudden being his. And then he blew up with it. And, nonetheless, I feel like as an artist, I've gone through situations too where I feel, attached to things. And I think Frank is one of those artists that the most important thing to him is what he says he is and who he says he is, and he has to have things his way. And I think that, he needed that record as a part of that. So, by all means, good luck and Godspeed.
Yeah, Godspeed, whatever with that stuff. You have this new song,
yes,
Street Dreaming.
Yes.
With Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
All right, so usually when people put out songs,
yeah,
we're going to get an album soon.
It's coming this year, this fall.
All right, so what are we learning about BK, Bridget Kelly, on this album?
So I am a lover of love.
Ooh.
I'm a lover of love, but I've got my heart broken pretty badly, and this record is really about that. And it took me a long time to put it together. It's taken me like 3 years to really get it together.
Okay.
But I mean, picture it as like, as therapy. Like you start going to see a therapist and you got to talk to them for however many sessions until everything gets right. And I felt like with this album, that's exactly what I had to do. I literally had to dig really deep inside myself to figure out what I wanted to say and how much of it I was going to talk about. And I got to work with Shay Taylor and Jerry Wonder and Poppin' Oak and Chris Style.
Poppin' Oak, Philly.
Philly.
See, you had to come
Sam
down.
Dew,
yeah.
who I love. And, we collectively helped me get over everything that I was going through.
Got you. Okay, so is this a fresh breakup? Is this 3-4 years?
This is 3-4 years. So I'm in a better place now. I'm over it. I don't want to kill anyone or set anybody on fire anymore. Okay. So I'm in a much better place.
Okay. So Bridget Kelly, she's over this guy.
Yeah. She's not angry anymore. She's excited and I'm back to being optimistic about love. But this album is really about that breakup and still trying to in the thick of it all still find room to be optimistic and hopeful for the next encounter with love.
Okay. So you're not in love right now.
I am. I'm always in love.
Okay, let's talk about it. I'm scooting up.
Are you surprised?
No, because I mean, does your new love, is he a little affected that you're still singing about the old love?
I don't think so. I think he helped me get past some of that stuff throughout the recording process.
Huh.
So it was really, he's my best friend. So it was definitely it was a really dope.
It's not you, is it?
He's my manager.
Cool.
No,
right,
not my best friend either.
I'm not a best friend. I'm her manager. Get out of here. Okay, so the new guy.
Yeah.
How does he balance you being Bridget Kelly, going on the road, doing going around the world?
He has nothing to do with the industry, so he doesn't get caught up in the hype.
Bridget
so he keeps me so regular and down to earth, like you wouldn't even believe.
And I know you're from New York.
He gets pissed off. I can't wear shades inside. He gets angry. I'm like, my eyes are light sensitive. It's not because I think I'm a star. It's really that I have sensitive eyes.
Yeah. So he's not like a drug dealer or anything.
No, he's not a drug dealer.
Because I know you're from New York.
Yeah, my dating dope boy days are over. Long gone. Thank you, though.
No, I'm just saying, we're getting to know you. I don't know if you still deal with dudes that make you take bricks to your torso.
No, I don't take anything to the torso. So I'm winning right now, I think.
Okay. Okay. So he's okay with because it has to be like a really strong guy.
It's really hard. It's really hard because at the end of the day, he's still coming second to my career at all and any cost. And luckily, I don't have to remind him of that because he's very, very understanding and patient with me. But he's, in a lot of ways, he's everything I'm not. He's more patient than I am. He's more understanding than I am. I'm incredibly impulsive and emotional and irrational.
You're a woman. Yeah, that's all women. Yeah.
Okay.
Need a guy to just.
Shots fired. Yeah, he's logical and practical and has so much more common sense than I do. So it's a great balance.
This is my Oprah voice. Check this out.
Okay, here we go.
Hold on. Hey, Bridget, do we see marriage in the near future for you with this guy?
Where's the couch? Can I jump on a couch? Can I jump up and down on a couch in true Tom Cruise fashion? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm still trying to put my album out. That's my focus.
All right, I'm just getting to know you. So I like to ask these things because guess what?
Yeah.
The next time you come, the album's going to be going crazy. You know, Alaska's gonna be like, bro, but listen, you can't ask that question, dog. You're gonna have to fall back. But right now, I have free leisure to be
That was such a cool New York impression. You have to fall
that?
back.
Yo, dog, you gotta fall back, son.
Fall back,
you know what I'm
fall
saying?
back,
Dog,
don't bump
you
your
can't-
head.
Yo, dog, you can't be doing that. So like right now, I have the time. Like all this interview, I'm like,
I love it.
Like 8 months from now, I'm just gonna take a snippet of it. Like, boom, this is what she said about that dude that she was dating, but she didn't tell me his name because she said he wasn't in the industry. Maybe she lied. We never know. You will find out in 8 months. But whatever. So what's some of the things you've learned moving on from the tackiness of the relationship?
Some of the things I've learned.
Yeah, some of the things you learn from just, being around Roc Nation. These guys, like, it's like a veil. Like, everyone looks at Jay-Z like he doesn't eat food. You know, people really think he's like a ghost or something.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, but you're around. What's some of the things you learn?
Everybody in general is just they're really normal. I know it sounds ridiculous to say because they seem so unapproachable and untouchable, but everybody's really normal. I mean, I think ultimately for me, what I've learned being on the road with him, and then I got to go on the road with Mary J. Blige this year, I really just feel like you got to be patient with yourself and your process, and you got to be real with who you are. You got to be consistent and true to who your fans are and what they want from you, and really pay attention. You got to be locked in. It can't be a situation where you just show up, you put on a show, and ta-da, love me. It doesn't work like that. And I think, hanging around with Jay and Mary's definitely taught me that.
Wow. Okay. So you're on tour with you went on tour with Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
You've been on tour with Jay-Z.
Yes.
You've been around Beyonce. You know, like you and Rihanna text each other. I mean, are you anxious because like everyone around you they're on?
Not at all. It doesn't faze me. It has nothing to do with me at the end of the day. And truthfully, knowing that I have their support and their encouragement, that's enough for me to even put it more in the back of my mind. All I'm really focused on is myself, my Bridget Kelly project, my Black Book management team. Like that's really where I'm at right now. I don't really I'm excited and get happy for everybody's success, but I'm also focused on my own. So.
Got you. And one thing I like about you, I just followed you on Instagram, but I saw it was like one thing on Instagram that came out. That's how I know Alaska, because you were like filming. You put like a little video out. Y'all in the airport.
Yes.
And he was there. I said, oh, I know you. He's like, oh, maybe from my drug dealing days. I'm like, whoa, let's fall back. But you put something on Instagram and it went kind of crazy. Like it looked like cocaine. It looked like it was some drugs going on.
Something told me we were gonna have to bring that up.
I didn't want to. I don't want to be tacky, but I'm from Philadelphia.
But here we are. You're from Philly. I didn't want to take that shot.
Yeah.
But you threw me the lob. I had it.
Yeah.
So I went to a South by Southwest. A friend of mine, John Gray, hosted this dinner called Ghetto Gastro with Raekwon, the chef, and did like this really cool buffet style dinner with crepes and little bags of confectioner sugar. Of course, it being a street theme, they decided to put a scale and they had it in a pile that made it look like drugs. Yeah. So my silly, naive self decided to put a picture of it on Instagram because I thought it was funny, and everybody else did not think it was funny.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool.
People were pissed off and leaving comments. She was hacked, and I was like, I wasn't hacked. I don't take myself so seriously that I can't make a joke, but no one thought it was funny, so I had to, take it down and apologize and let people know I don't do drugs. What I thought was really cool, though, truthfully, Media Takeout loves to just spin stuff around and put their own little embellishments on it. They like to garnish things themselves. Their spin on it was that I was a pusher. Nice. Like Bridget Kelly out here chopping bricks like karate. And I was like, well, all right, I'll take that over cokehead. Yeah. I would sooner be a supplier than a user.
Especially, because your boyfriend's a supplier and it happens.
You got to get in where you fit in.
No, I totally get it. You said just staying true to yourself. For people who are just listening, who is Bridget Kelly? What are we going to get from this album other than knowing that you broke up with this guy and now you're with this other guy who sells drugs? I'm joking. It was a joke, guys.
I know it doesn't even sound like an upgrade. So you left that guy and now you date the guy that sells drugs. No, really, I'm an open book. I talk about everything that I felt in that in being in that position, and without male bashing. I'm calling my album something different because I didn't want to come into the game doing R&B music and just be this cliche, stereotypical, crazy, angry, bitter feminist, and I don't feel like that. I feel like even in times of heartbreak, I'm still hoping for something better. I'm still anxious to feel good about love again. You know what I mean? And I'm still optimistic, and I think I'm speaking for women. I'm a voice for women. That's who I am.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. And you're in this industry. You've been in the industry for, you said, 3-4 years. How long you been signed to Roc Nation?
Almost 5 years.
Wow. Okay, so 5 years. You've been around. You're a very pretty girl.
Thank you.
Young lady. I don't like to say girl because she's not a girl.
It makes me sound like I'm 15.
A woman.
Thank you.
She came in. I was like, damn.
Oh.
I think Alaska is going to.
And then you realized I was from New York and you had to fall back. Up your head.
It was like, here we go. Have you ever dealt with like some of these celebrity guys?
Nope.
Or you're is it one of those things that it's a turn off? Like, ugh.
You know what? It's not so much that it's a turn off. I've never been put in a position where I feel like somebody would date me because of my persona. So I never wanted to date someone else and have them look at me like, oh, you only want me because I'm not that girl. I definitely date more for character than anything else. I'm much more intrigued by a regular non-industry dude who could get my attention and keep my attention than I am, somebody who's flashy and There's so many facets of the industry too that I just feel like people don't see, and then the parts that people do see are the parts that are probably pretty accurate. So like, throwing money at strippers and all that. I couldn't date a rapper. I couldn't take a rapper seriously as my man. I couldn't do it. The lifestyle doesn't match mine.
Gotcha. I love going and throwing money on strippers. It makes me feel good about myself.
With a wedding band on, I don't believe you.
My wife knows that I throw money on strippers, and I like how you looked at my wedding band because she was checking me out, guys. Did you peep that?
Not at all. It's actually blinging. So well done to your wife. Well done to your spouse for picking that band out. It's fly.
Listen, my wife, I tell her, I say, hey, I want to have a girlfriend today.
I can't.
She's like,
I'm not going to participate. Nope.
And I'm like, all right. And she's like, really cute? I'm like, woman, who pay the bills around here?
Is that really what you say?
Man, look in my eye. I say, woman, who pay the bills around here? And she be like, you do, Deezy. I was like, all right, then. Fall back. Fall back. And she's like, all right. And I'm like, yo. She's like, when you coming back? I said, when I get back. So, yeah, I mean, my wife, she's cool with that. She's okay. She's okay with it's a maturation process. It's one of those things that.
It is. But you know what? You got married. You took the vow before God. So that's mature.
She going to throw God in it.
I mean, it's mature, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, it's not about me. See, oh, you good. You good, BK.
I'm from New York, honey. This is how we do it.
What part of New York are you from?
Manhattan. I'm a city girl, born and raised in money-making Manhattan.
You are rich. All right, so.
You are rich?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No.
Okay. Not at all.
I know a couple people that live is Washington Heights in Manhattan?
Yes.
Okay, like one of my, they have projects there. I'm
Hello?
familiar.
And Harlem is also in Manhattan, and that's.
Well, we don't call Harlem Manhattan. We call Harlem.
Harlem's still in Manhattan. It's its own borough in its own right, but it's still in Manhattan.
Okay, so we're doing a whole BK background.
I'm giving you a map.
So all right, you grew up in New York, Manhattan, making a lot of money. What was your family structure like?
My father was from the Bahamas and my mother's Irish, and my mother grew up in New York, and my father obviously grew up on a little Caribbean island. But they definitely played a lot of different music for me when I was a kid growing up. So it was like a combination of the Beatles and then Stevie Wonder and Diana Ross, and it was always music playing in my house. And so I just kind of took it all in as just being a part of who I was, and I didn't think about being a singer until I was like 10 or 11. And I was like all of a sudden starting to Sister Act 2, watching Sister Act 2, and all these other musical movies were emerging, and I felt like, you know what, I think I could do this. I feel like I could get on stage and sing.
What was that one singular moment you were like, uh-oh, I got him. I got to do this forever?
That one singular moment where I said I got to do this forever. Probably high school. I went to performing arts high school, so they put us on stage to produce our own shows and write our own music and perform. And I was up there, and it was literally like, you're in high school. It's a scary time because it's, every time you get up on that stage, it's showtime at the Apollo. Everybody, if you suck, people are going to boo you if you're terrible, So I was nervous, and I got up, And everybody was just real quiet and attentive, and I performed, and it was received really well. And I said to myself, you know what? If I can make it in front of these kids, like some of them are my friends who I know will be like, BK, you gotta quit.
Yeah.
They were supportive, and I was like, all right, well, they think it's great. I gotta do it.
Wow. You went to this performing arts high school. You know, we always hear these stories of performing arts high schools, and it's like, oh, I went to school with this person. Was there any other famous people that went to your high school that at the same time you were there?
Not at the same time. No, Nicki Minaj graduated, I think, a year or two before me, and or a year or two before I got there. And Azealia Banks, I think, came in the year after I got there.
Who's Azealia Banks?
Azealia Banks is another
Who's that?
New York rapper. No,
I'm kidding. Let me stop. I'm being a
I'm like,
total
you work
jerk.
in radio and you don't know who Azealia Banks
being a
is?
total jerk.
Don't
mind me.
She's in the 212. Also.
Yeah, she made that song 212. I know. Come on, dog. This is why I does this, BK. I appreciate you coming through doing conversations with Q. You know what? I had fun.
I did too. I'm really happy to be here. I love Philly, even though Philly doesn't love New York.
No,
New York loves
no, we don't. But here's this though. This is what I want to give you. I want you to break up with your boyfriend.
Okay. Because
it's time for you to get wild. Okay, you're too sexy to be letting the sexy go to one man without a wedding band. Ooh, that rhymed. You're too sexy to be letting that sexy go to one man without a wedding band.
So I should be getting wedding bands from multiple people?
You should. Getting bands can make you dance.
Oh,
you're too sexy. So
I either gotta get the rubber bands or the wedding bands.
Yes,
gotta be one or the other.
Either or.
Okay.
That's
fair.
But
That's fair.
I just feel like you just give it to this guy? Who is this guy? Let him go. It's not gonna last unless he says, "Baby,
I'm jumping out of the window.
I'm proposing to you.
Jumping out of this window.
I'm proposing to you right now. I want to go on the road and be Alaska's assistant." If he can't do that, it's time for you to let him go. Right? Boom. It's time for you to let him go and let
really
loose.
Alaska?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, it's time to let it loose because you're too sexy. You can't be putting your hair back like that.
All right.
All
Jesus.
All right. Well, thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me. I got to go drink some water or some wine or both.
Okay. Well, that was Conversations with Q. We'll do it next Monday, 9 a.m. QDZ.com.